Welcome to the Good Growing Podcast. I am Chris Enroth, horticulture educator with University of Illinois Extension, coming at you from Macomb, Illinois, and we have got a great show for you today. We're talking about the hot heat that we are living in this time of year. It's only June. Oh my goodness, folks, buckle down. It's summer. It ain't even here yet. Well, officially, I say it's official. Let's just say from here on out. I cannot do this by myself, of course, joined by our co-host with us every single week. We're joined by local food, small farms educator, Katie Parker in Quincy. Hey, Katie.
Hey, Chris, how are things going for you?
Pretty good. Just going through that deodorant sticks like crazy these days. So, yeah, I'm sorry to anyone who has to be around me.
Have the kids gotten the pool out yet?
Oh, actually, last year we had a pool. The darn cat, it was like kind of a blow up one, but it had an inflatable ring that kept it afloat. The cat just like shredded it to pieces. And so that went in the trash can.
Sounds terrible.
So all we have is a sprinkler.
Hey, that works.
Be good enough. Yeah. How about you guys?
No pool. Matt's been watering grass. So I guess if we wanted to, we could run through the sprinkler while he's watering, but the neighbors might call us in if we started to do that. So we'll stick.
Or they'll join you. They'll join you.
We'll just stick to going inside when we need a break.
Yep. Well, someone who I know is out running through the sprinkler as we speak here is horticulture educator Ken Johnson in Jacksonville. Hey, Ken.
Hello, Chris and Katie. No sprinkler for us, and the kids' pools are full of plants right now that we're trying to limp along until we can plant it when it gets a little cooler out.
There's more important things that those pools need to be doing. Growing plants.
Have you checked the temperatures in Florida recently, Ken?
I have not, but when I woke up yesterday, so Monday morning, and walked outside, it reminded me why we left Florida.
Yeah, you take a step out the door and the glasses fog up with the humidity and the heat, and your breath gets taken away. Yeah.
That was every morning for 4 months down there. So
before we dive even farther into the heat, Katie, you had mentioned this before we kicked it off here about the strawberry moon. What is a strawberry moon, and are we having that right now?
Yeah, so I don't think it's actually has anything to do with like the color of the moon or anything. What I read was that it just has to do with strawberry harvest. So Native American tribe or something, this would be their peak strawberry harvest. And so we have a strawberry moon or a super moon, being that it's closest. Is that right? Closest to the earth right now or something like that.
I'll just say last night it was humongous.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
Yeah, it looked really cool. So, Katie, I know you got strawberry plants from Ken last year, right? Did you get anything? Any harvests yet?
So unfortunately, I came outside. So we have a raised bed behind our deck, and that's where I had them. And I came out, and Matt was tearing out all of our garden debris from last year. And he tore out all the strawberries.
Oh no.
Yes, I was very disappointed. So we have no strawberry harvest this year.
That stinks. I'm kind of in a similar boat, but
yeah.
I got strawberry plants from a friend too. And they didn't do anything. Just they had all kinds of foliar disease. And so one of them I just pulled up. There's nothing happening there, and the other one I'm just gonna wait and see. It flowered, and then it didn't. I don't think it got any fruit set. But Ken, on the other hand, is up to his ears in strawberries, aren't you, Ken?
Yeah, I'm getting to the point of I'm tired of picking strawberries. I think last couple of days we've frozen about 6 gallons of strawberries. So, but we probably tossed almost an equal amount because of all the anthracnose, because we don't spray or anything, and our patches is 4 years old. So when we're done harvesting this year, it's going to get torn out. And we've already started a new one. So we'll be down next few years probably, but we'll get there eventually.
Have you been making all the strawberry desserts?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We've just been freezing them. We made some smoothies here and there, but
Yeah.
We'll have to try wine again, and
Oh yeah.
I was gonna
We'll
say
see.
I haven't had your wine yet, Ken. So Ken made a
you're
sweet
still alive,
wine.
so
There's a sweet wine and a dry wine, and so I'm excited. Maybe that'll happen tonight after being out in the field later on today, and I'm sure a nice, cool, cold, sweet strawberry wine will be a good reward.
Should have had it last night, and you could have toasted the strawberry moon.
Yes, definitely. That's a great idea.
Next year.
Next year, Ken's gonna make
Is
a
it
whole lot more.
Is it an annual thing? The strawberry moon?
I don't know if I'd ever heard of it until you said something. So
There's all kind of moons out there. Strawberry,
Yeah.
blue moon,
Harvest.
yeah, harvest moon.
Blue,
Yep.
blue moon, is that really a thing?
That
or
might
is
not be. Maybe that's
Do you have
just
alcohol in the mind?
that's just a desire. Speaking of desires and getting something to drink, looking outside, and Katie and Ken and I, we just looked at the extended forecast for all of our respective areas. It's not cooling off for the next couple of weeks here, folks. We're looking at highs right now predicted to be in the 90s and 100s. And so this has been a particular rough start to spring. So I just want to just start out, and we'll dive into plants here in a second, but let's talk a little bit about us first, humans. This is the first major like heat wave that we've had this summer. I know it got a little bit hot earlier in May, but this is like the first one. And so it takes about 2 weeks for the human body to become more acclimated to a temperature. Because, first time it gets cold in the fall, oh, it's freezing cold, but it's only like 60 degrees and you're just not used to that. It just takes time for our bodies to adapt and acclimate to that new normal, that new temperature normal. And so just keep that in mind. Do not push it too hard this first week here. You still need to make sure that you're giving your body plenty of time to acclimate to being outside, gardening, landscaping, working, whatever it is that you're doing. Making sure about every 15 minutes, especially as we have these dangerous heat advisories. We have highs with the heat index of 107. So, and it's going to get hotter than that. So just make sure that you're taking breaks. One thing I like to do, I used to not have these like the little flags that they use for like research plots. Just flag out where you want like 15 minutes worth of weeding or 15 minutes worth of garden work. And once you reach those flags, you stop and take a break. I've actually used those garden flags way more that I now have them with me. And so I use them quite a bit, not only for indicating my goal for work, but also like spotting like, all right, here is a break in the drip irrigation line, or reminder of, hey, I planted something here, and I can like write on the flag even what it is. So just a little tip there, garden flags, they work pretty nicely for stuff. So, and remember, take breaks about every 15 minutes, drink plenty of fluids. Blue moon doesn't count, it's got to be water or maybe a sports drink or something, but water is the best. And avoid a lot of those caffeinated products too, especially during the heat of the day.
And I would say go out early and then go out in the evening, try to avoid the middle of the day. So no sleeping in.
No, I think right now is the perfect time, I think, at least for that early work. I don't know, Katie, Ken, I don't know about either of you, but in the evening where we're at, we have a couple ponds and stuff. There's so many mosquitoes in the evening. My best work gets done in the morning, at least in terms of like insect control, biting insects. Buffalo gnats are out still too, and so they make working a little miserable outside right now, but it's so much fun. It's so rewarding. It's yeah I don't know, I'm energized. Aren't you pumped? Summer's here. Ken's like, no.
It's time for a haircut.
Yeah, I believe it.
Cool,
Time to get that
bit.
beard trimmed up. Yep. So so that's us humans. We could probably dive in more about other things, but just remember, take those breaks, folks. It's going to be hot for a while. Take breaks, drink lots of water. But what about our plants? Katie, do you have like advice on like watering for our plants as we dive into weeks and weeks of 90 degree plus high temperatures?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously we want to water our plants really well, and water them deeply. So if you, I usually like to, go out in the mornings and check, my pots and stuff. And so I'll just stick some fingers in to see how moist it is. I've been watering them every day right now because it has been so dry. But when you water them, it's always nice to water earlier in the morning. So that way your foliage can, dry out throughout the day and you'll hopefully have less potential for any, disease development. Like I said, water deep so that way you can promote deeper rooting. So those roots are going to grow down deeper into the soil, and that'll help with drought tolerance as well. Let's see what else. I think that pretty well covers watering. Like I said, just check them frequently, and make sure that they're not, experiencing any water stress.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, I think as a lot of gardeners, we pull from what resources we have or different materials. I got clay pots, I got plastic pots, I got peat pots, I got, pots made from old pots, I got pots, all different kinds. And there are definitely ones that dry out faster. My fabric pots, I almost got to water them 2 times a day right now. Clay pots, similar story with them. And so, as Katie mentioned, just you gotta get your fingernails dirty. You got to get dirt underneath them, stick that in the soil, see if it needs any water. That's the best way to tell, is just jam them right in there, touch that potting soil, see if it needs water. Yeah.
And some of my bigger pots, I've even gotten to the point where I mulch the tops to help retain some of that soil moisture.
Yeah. I have some in-ground plants next to some of my flats that we're doing. We got lots of pumpkins and things that we're getting started. And so the plants, the tomatoes and things that are on the flats, they get kind of the side water, the water that splashes off or runs off of the flats. And we have a thick layer of mulch, and I reached down and I felt that soil underneath that mulch is still has a good moisture level. And so mulch, whether it's in a container or on the ground, can help insulate that soil, can help hold that moisture content a little bit higher than if it was just bare ground. So the other thing, I remember going, as we were going on our ginger treks around the state of Illinois, and we stopped by Ken Johnson's house, and he had this beautiful garden. Lettuces, all kinds of cool season greens. So Ken, what are you doing with these cool season greens now that it's 98 degrees outside?
So we are harvesting them in earnest. I'm tired of eating lettuce. So we've been going out in the mornings. As soon as you get up, we go out and harvest lettuce, stick it in the fridge for lunch, dinner, maybe breakfast here soon. Yeah, we've been harvesting all of our lettuce. We're almost done harvesting it. We've harvested all of our broccoli, things like that, because cool season crops, they're going to start bolting if they haven't already. Notice a lot of our lettuce the last few days is getting rather elongated, which is a pretty good indication it's going to start bolting or flowering here soon. So if you haven't done it already, make some plans to harvest all that cool season stuff, because it's just not going to take this heat.
Yeah, we've thrown a couple. I still have a few lettuces and some cell packs, and we've tossed them in the shade under the deck, doing everything we can, but you can't fight that temperature. It's a signal to them to send up a flower stalk. So yeah. Now, another thing, if we move from cool season now to warm season crops, we think tomatoes. Oh my gosh, that is it should be loving this heat. We should be getting all kinds of tomatoes. Why would that not be the case? Is there something wrong with my tomato, that it's not developing in this 90 degree plus heat?
So even though we consider tomatoes kind of warm, hot season, they really don't like really hot temperatures. They're more of a kind of a moderate. And once we start getting temperatures up into the 90s, even maybe upper 80s, a lot of times they'll start getting flower abortion. They'll just stop flowering, especially if we have warm night temperatures, which we've been having. So it just never really cools off sufficiently for them. They'll start dropping flowers. When we get to the point where we have fruit, temperatures in the low to mid 90s, you'll start getting that red color. That lycopene won't develop, so you won't get red tomatoes either. So they're warm season, but they don't like really hot temperatures. So if this were to continue long term, we'd probably have some issues with tomatoes, and I would assume other fruiting vegetables as well, with fruit production and stuff.
Katie, is this good weather though for like sweet corn? Is this something where or do I need to do anything? Because I have planted a couple blocks of sweet corn this year. I got, was it Bloody Butcher? It's a red one. It's like a ornamental.
What a
thing.
name. Yeah.
I know, yeah. But it gets like 15 feet tall. I'm so
That sounds
excited to
cool.
see what happens. And then I have another sweet one, sugary sweet one. And it's my first year growing sweet corn. Do I need to do anything else right now, or just let the world take them along into summer?
Yeah, so I mean, they'll do fine in this weather. Thank goodness it's not pollinating, because again, you're gonna have issues with pollination, pollen development, like abortion. And so right now, I guess, so typically our corn above 86 degrees Fahrenheit, it is not accumulating growing degree units. And so we would consider like above those temperatures, there's not a lot of growth. And so with these warm temperatures, it can cause stress to the plants. If you can water them, that's a good idea. If you need to fertilize, typically we might be adding like a nitrogen application here in our later season, or like our mid-season. And so I would probably wait on that because the plant's already stressed, and that's not necessarily going to be something that it needs. So if you can wait until we get down in those cooler temperatures again, that's an ideal time to be fertilizing. But what is it? I think typically for our in-ground gardens, we estimate about an inch of rain per week. And so if we can supply at least that inch of rain, maybe a bit more during these heat and water stress times, I would say too, we're probably not too terribly water stressed with our in-ground stuff, because we have had some decent moisture, but adding water can help to provide or lessen the stress of the heat for these plants. So that's something to think about if you're able to, is to water.
Yeah, it's hard to think about water. You know, we were actually down in Ken's neck of the woods over the weekend for some travel baseball, and the road was flooded because of the amount of rain that they had gotten between Macomb and Rushville. And so you either forded it and took your chances, or you turned around and found an alternate route. So but we have quite a bit of soil moisture, as Katie pointed out. So yeah, right now I'm paying a lot of attention to my flats and my containers with this heat. And I'm happy that you mentioned the thing about fertilizer, at least the nitrogen for my sweet corn. So I think maybe my plan is I'm going to take some blood meal, which is a nitrogen fertilizer, and I'm going to spread that then in the row. And it's not available immediately. It's going to take about a week or two for that to become more plant available. So fingers crossed it cools off by then. We'll see. Hopefully we get the timing right. So that's kind of my, oh yeah, thank you, Ken. That is my garden plan for the next 2 weeks. I guess, Ken, do you have any like garden planning, or you think about like emergency water survival plan for your garden in the next couple of weeks?
Be lots of watering, probably put some more mulch down. We in our in-ground beds, we had a cover crop of rye that we've laid down. Probably go over and mulch on top of that with some shredded leaves, just to try to retain as much soil moisture as we can. Probably do the same with some of our raised beds where we've got flowers in, where that canopy hasn't filled in yet, to kind of shade that soil. Yeah, just water, and hope it cools off.
And Katie is Matt. He is just making sure that the grass stays green.
He add some sand and planted some creeping bent grass. So
Oh, the
he
putting
has
green.
to, yeah, so he has to water that.
Yeah.
So he waters it pretty much every morning and every night.
I a long time ago I worked at a golf course, and that days like today it's called syringing the greens. So basically, because greens are mostly sand, they're very sharply drained, so they have to go out there with hoses and just dump a ton of water there. It's just to try to alleviate that heat stress for that creeping bent grass. So
Mhm.
Matt's doing that right now.
Yeah, thankfully it's decently shaded, so like he can get away with just watering it. But yeah, like clockwork, every morning and every afternoon after he gets off work, he's out there watering.
Well, we just got to get there and get an in-ground irrigation system for you
Yeah,
guys,
there you
so.
go. Are you gonna install it?
Sure. Oh yeah, most definitely.
Good.
I charge by the strawberry wine bottle that can provide.
Ken, can you hook me up?
Sorry, my mic cut out. I didn't hear any of that.
We just need some strawberry wine, Ken.
I know where you can get some.
Well, very good, very good. Well, the Good Growing Podcast is produced by Wendy Ferguson, edited this week by Ken Johnson. Is that right? Yeah, Ken
I don't
Johnson.
think it is.
It
Is
is
it
my
Ken?
turn.
Okay.
All right, it's Ken's turn. He's
All
up
your
to bat.
complaints can come to me.
So yes, this week edited by Ken. Special thanks to Katie and Ken for being here with us, as you are every single week. Thank you both very much.
Thank you, Chris and Ken. It's always good to see you.
Yes, thank you both. Stay cool. Let's do this again next week.
Oh, we shall do this again next week because it is the National Week of Pollinators. Yeah, it's Pollinators Week next week. So we're going to be back talking about everybody's favorite bugs, the good bugs, the pollinator bugs. And so, listeners, we thank you for what you do best, and that is listening. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, watching. And as always, keep on growing.